people don't buy from a logo if your name is not Nike. That's my opinion. We all have to try better to stand out, and it's having a structure on how you do the videos. That's the best unlocker for my clients, because I've seen clients working on a video of 4 minutes for 6 hours, literally, because it's very hard to have a single video in one take of 6 minutes or 4 minutes or 2 minutes in one go. So you're going to end up taking 200 takes, right? Which I think it's not great.
Welcome to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lyon Creatives. I'm Svenja Lyon, and in each episode, I sit down with local business owners and entrepreneurs to share their stories, how they got started, what keeps them going, and what makes their business stand out. My goal? To help more amazing businesses be seen, supported, and celebrated. So grab your coffee, because this might just get creative. Welcome to This Might Get Creative, the Behind the Brand podcast by Lyon Creatives, where we dig into the messy, magical, and meaningful side of building a business. Today, I'm joined by Alex Nedelea, founder of LPV Agency, a creative marketing agency helping businesses get noticed through storytelling, video, and a deep understanding of what makes people connect. Alex has a fascinating background rooted in television and media, and he's now helping brands show up with authenticity and purpose because, as he says, it's getting harder and harder to be noticed. We're going to talk about what it really takes to stand out today, why it takes 11 posts within 90 days to reach a single prospect, and how AI and storytelling are reshaping how businesses communicate. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you very much, Svenja, for having me here. And thank you for having my name properly said. It's not an easy name to say, but thank you so much.
It is not. Yeah, well, thank you. So to get started, tell me a little bit about your business. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and how did you go from TV to running a marketing agency?
Well, actually, I started working when I was 14, and that's when I started taking photos and videos, photo shoots and video shoots for companies, small companies. Then I started working on my regional television. 200,000 households were seeing the things that I was doing, live TV shows, news. It was very interesting for a 16 years old boy to have their own TV. I think it's anyone's dream, but I had it. I was pretty lucky because I was in the right space in the right moment. And then I moved to national TV, and I was pretty lucky also, maybe by hard work, to work with prime ministers, presidents, and when you have 30 minutes in a room with a pretty high figure, the pressure is there, and you have to get it right in the first run because you don't have a second run, and it was interesting. Of course, in the sidelines, I was building my own company, and this is what I focused on after I have finished working in national television. This is a little bit of my early background.
That's pretty cool. That's very nice. So what do you offer? What is your business about today? So you talked about your background. So what is it today? What do you offer your clients?
That's an amazing question because it all evolved by client feedback. So I started with photos, videos, then I've done social media advertising, then we switched to TV advertising. And we have helped clients across their journey to actually make money, right? Because it's when you're doing marketing and you're helping clients, this is the final purpose, right? To help them make money. We also implemented CRM systems, automations, and all that stuff to help them make that dream happen. I worked across, all the industries, health, wellness. Also, one of my biggest projects was a fintech company. I took it from zero. The CEO came to me and he said, well, I've got this logo, I've got this idea, let's make it happen. I bring in the first two investors. Working in television, I was pretty well connected. I think this helped me quite a lot, to be honest. And then we took that fintech company from 0 to 50 million in under a year. So that was a pretty big race. And, from that, everything evolved. And I started from zero, literally from zero. And now I've got 35 team members helping me with everything that I do.
Wow.
I'm pretty lucky to meet people like yourself and, to understand more about what you do. And it is something that I take a lot of joy. Maybe because this is what I was doing when I was 16 with the TV shows and everything. But it is something that I love doing and, speaking with nice people.
Thank you. Well, connecting, and then I think since you're also a part of BNI, relationships and connecting with other businesses and even businesses that do the same as, or technically the same that you do, I think it's very valuable. So, so how has networking shaped your client base or creative collaboration?
Well, if we are thinking only about the client base, I think it's interesting that it gives you access to a lot of industries. Let's say the BNI meetings, it's interesting that you hear maybe 20 different industries in one room pitching in, let's say, a matter of 30 minutes. And it gives you a different type of perspective and vision about what it can be done when it comes to the business space. And for me, if I would say the networking helped me quite a lot because, as I said, I like to meet people and it really brings me great joy to learn more about their business. And somehow this actually helped me construct the business that I'm in at the moment because videos are very important for what I do. And also, if you don't understand the CEO, the business owner, the person that runs the business, can you actually do a valuable video? Can you actually do a valuable piece of information or valuable post? I would say that no. So I think that's very important, to actually connect with them on a deeper personal level. And this is what I like to do. So yes, 100%. Networking is very important. I think it's a very big part of what I do. And it gives me access to such a global audience of people that I can connect all over the world. Even as we said, if I have two people that do the same thing, they're not necessarily competitors, that they may have different clients and they may refer different clients one to each other.
Exactly. Because what I do, I also try to enhance the business with their branding. But my focus is more on printed material and websites and, like all these things that are connected with that. But social media, you need video, you need all these little, moving aspects. And it's always good to know people that actually, so that you can offer more to your clients.
100%. It's about adding the other businesses offers into your offer, or being able to say, well, I know someone that does this very well.
Exactly.
It's very, that's their main focus, as you said, print, right? That's Svenja's main focus, right? That's very important.
Yes. I actually talked to someone yesterday and she is still printing out a newsletter for all of her clients. And I thought that was pretty cool because nowadays it's almost all email, but that's how you can stand out,
right? Yeah,
if you offer
totally
something
agree.
that got lost somehow and then came back. So, yeah. So now that we're talking about getting noticed, you said that it now takes 11 posts within 90 days to reach a single prospect. So, I mean, I totally agree, but can you elaborate a little bit more?
So there's actually research around this. We need across 90 days to be in front of our prospects for at least 11 times, just for them to consider watching a full video of ourselves, not to become a client, but to consider investing their time into watching or clicking on your video, which is a big problem. And this is why I'm telling everyone it's very important to have your face, and it's super important out there, because if you have Canva posts that you're doing all day, the problem of people just scrolling past them, they're their own brand, they're nice, okay, but that's something that you do as an addition to what you're doing with your face, again, because people connect with people, people buy from people, people don't buy from a logo, if your name is not Nike. So, that's my opinion. We all have to try better to stand out, and it's having a structure on how you do the videos. That's the best unlocker for my clients, because I've seen clients working on a video of 4 minutes for 6 hours, literally, because it's very hard to have a single video in one take of 6 minutes or 4 minutes or 2 minutes in one go. So you're going to end up taking 200 takes, right? Which I think it's not great.
It doesn't even have to be 2 minutes or 4 minutes of a video. It can be just 30 seconds of a video. Like when I create all those, I have like a little mini series of Thursday's Lions Share. And just to take those 30 seconds of that video, it's sometimes I could just take the computer and just throw it out because I'm like, oh, terrible. And it's just 30 seconds. So I can't even imagine having like 9 minutes of video.
Yeah. You're totally right. It's hard, and something happens with our brain when we hit record. I don't know what's going on, but it's like it's going blank. It's like, oh, my name is. It's like, what's going on? That's not normal.
Yes, no, I agree. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, and I even, I come up with the content and I write down the content and and then I say something totally different. I'm like, where did this come from? Yeah. But now the consistency in branding with videos, and also you mentioned the Canva posts, and in general, your overall, let's say, Instagram profile. So do you think that businesses underestimate how much branding consistency matters around all those posts in your video as well as the static posts?
Well, I think this is a great question, because personally what I've seen is the over-polished, podcasty type of videos. They kind of repel people now because they look AI generated or too much or too fake, or in a way that people don't connect on a personal level with you. Mm-hmm. And I always tell my customers, if you had a blooper, if you had keep it in there. That's human. AIs will get and do that in a perfect way, but no one will care about that, and no one will click or connect with that AI generated video. So I think, consistency is very important. And also when you're doing the branding side of it, I'm strong on not overdo it. Don't overdo it. I think be elegant. Don't be too flashy. I think there's a balance that's very easily, crossed over. But I don't know. That's at least my opinion. What's your opinion on that? What you have seen until now, Svenja?
So I agree that because AI can do so much now, everything looks too polished. Everything looks almost too perfect. And then, I find myself just scrolling and not being interested in those videos because the personal touch, like you said, it's missing. Of course, you have to make sure that the video itself is on brand with, I'm a little bit specific about branding guides, and that's just the nature of what I do. But if it's too polished, you can just go on iStock and just download a video because that's polished. So I feel that more and more, you want to see the imperfection. You don't need to see the perfection all the time, because that's what we see all the time. So as long as everything is on brand and you're not using a completely different logo in a different color to brand your own video, I think imperfection is the way to go.
Yeah, very interesting when you said imperfection, because actually I was advising this week 2 of my clients, and they were asking me, should we go with a team there and film everything out, and lights, cameras, mics, and everything. And I said, no, use your phone. You send us the materials and we edit them, because that will connect way higher with the audience that we have, which is, let's say, 45, 50 plus. And those type of people spend way more time on the phones as we do at the moment. And I think, it's a different type of, it's also the audience, right? But I think it's pretty important to not overdo it. As you just said, the overly perfected, stocky look videos.
Yes.
We do not connect with them anymore. It's
No.
overly used.
Yeah, because we see them everywhere, and it's just boring because it's not special. So if someone can only focus on one thing, so what's the best way to use design and video to get noticed?
I would say consistency. Try to have not so cluttered background. Try to have your surrounding represent you, your brand, and make a video once a week at least. I think that's the most important one thing that anyone can do. You have to start somewhere, and with the new algorithm updates of LinkedIn, if you ask me, I think it's even more so important to have consistency and do more quality content, because while it's nice to have more content out there, if it's not quality, actually your content will suffer, and your account will suffer. You will not get the amount of views that you expect. So consistency, I would say, the one thing in the branding space. Be out there, be seen. If you want more clients, more deals, more leads, you have to be seen. You can pay to be seen. You can invest time to be seen, or you can knock on doors to be seen.
Yes.
Or you can go to networking events.
Exactly. You can go to BNI. Yes.
Exactly.
But that's, that ties back into, the repetition and the consistency, because if you feel, especially small business owners, they feel awkward on camera. I mean, who does not feel awkward on camera? But if you repeatedly take a video of yourself, you practice, you just do it. You just jump into the cold water and you just do it. I think then they learn how to tell their story. Because then at one point it's not that awkward anymore. After 1,000 times, after 500 times, it's not awkward to see yourself on video, to hear your voice on a podcast or on video. And I think that's important. And that's where BNI comes in again, because you are forced to tell your story 60 seconds every Thursday or whenever you have your meetings. So I think that is very helpful. Doesn't have to be BNI, but in general, networking events where you are forced to, tell your story.
Of course, Svenja, and I think Bruce Lee has an interesting quote regarding this. I don't fear a person that practice one time 10,000 kicks. I fear a person that practice one kick 10,000 times, because
exactly.
Pick an offer, just that offer, very clear offer. Try to make it with as less possible words, and make sure that anyone understands it, even if they're a lawyer, an IFA, or a plumber, or an electrician. Make it sure that anyone can understand the words that you're saying, because even in marketing, it's even more so, right? So we are getting ahead of ourselves, and we say about CTA, CTR, and it's like everyone's looking at us. What's that? CPC. It's like, how do you know? How don't you know CPC? It's cost per click, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So understanding people. That's making, how can I phrase this correctly, but help other people understand what you do, but also try to understand what other people do. And then, I think that's helpful.
It's another good thing, that's exactly what you said, is think about your offer, that you would say it to your grandma, and if she cannot repeat it to someone else in under 2 minutes, then it's not an offer. So yeah. That's a good
that's parallel. A good tip, actually. That's a good tip, yes. So when you think about your favorite clients or projects, what did they do differently in how they approach their audience?
First of all, there are givers. There are people that want to give value to their audience. I think that is the most important pillar when it comes to making the right videos. Because you don't want to get out there and say, buy my service, subscribe to my software. You want to be there and inform them about the problems that they may have and say the solutions that they need to apply. And once you get that, the trust is being built step by step, and you don't need much. You need a couple of good videos where if you have consistency, and it takes 2 minutes per week, do that, and people will appreciate you way more. And if you are saying that, if someone says that LinkedIn is not working for them, they just tried it wrong, to be honest. And LinkedIn, of course, is just an example, but this can be available for all the platforms, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. But if you offer value, it will get seen, it will be noticed, and the algorithm will push it further, And sometimes we are thinking about the numbers that we are seeing when it comes to impressions, views, or clicks. And if you imagine a room of 200 people, that's you're gonna get overwhelmed when you get on stage, right? But and this is something that I advise to from all my clients, is always when you do, let's say, a video, post it on all the channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter, all of them at once. Because if, let's say, your account on TikTok is getting banned, or your account on LinkedIn is getting banned, which things can happen. You don't know why, but it can happen. I've seen businesses struggle because of that. If you have built just one audience and you don't own it, that's going to be very hard to recover from, and probably your business will suffer quite a lot.
Yes. Speaking about the different channels, do you recommend posting the same video on all the channels, or do you switch it up? Like, for example, Instagram, you can have 90 seconds now in the video. Not sure if LinkedIn has a limitation, but do you, like, when you shoot a video for your clients, do you have different videos for the different channels?
So everything that we change for our clients is just the frame of the video. So it will be a tall video for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook. This will be tall videos, while wide screen videos, 16:9, will be on YouTube, the normal YouTube, and also on LinkedIn. But the content of the video, I recommend it to be the same, because otherwise what's going to happen, you're going to spend so much time adapting to the video, while let's think about ourselves, right? I have a YouTube account, I have a LinkedIn account, I have a Facebook account, I have an Instagram account, I have a TikTok account. I'm all over the place. Everyone is all over the place. It just matters where you spend the most time. So why? Because now all the apps are connected to our contact books, right? So if you are in their contact book, you will appear on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on TikTok. So you will be seen, by hundreds of people on each platform. And if you have 5 platforms of 200 views on each, you already have 1,000 views per video. And, that's a good starting point. I always advise that.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite platform?
To be honest, the favorite platform right now in this month and year, in November 2025, it's LinkedIn. Because I see quite a good reach when it comes to organic, if you have consistency and if you interact with members there. But, next year could be YouTube again, or it could change. We don't know. Maybe Meta will make Instagram or Facebook great again. I don't know. Yes.
Maybe. Even though I ran the New York City Marathon, and I'm just mentioning it because there were quite some people that had the new Meta glasses, the sunglasses.
Yeah.
And before, I never noticed it until someone talked to their client. I'm like, what is he doing? And now I'm seeing all the videos, and they're actually quite interesting. So I didn't
they're
think that was
pretty cool.
possible. Yeah. So touching a little bit on AI. So what do you think? Because it's like I think for my business, it's very useful, but then also sometimes too overly used. Like, AI will not replace a graphic designer because what we talked about, the human and the personal element is just missing. What are your thoughts about that?
That's actually a good question, because last week I've been invited to the Google headquarters so they can present us the new models and what they will release. And what I've seen, the biggest problem in generating content, let's say if it's photo, video, or graphics, the consistency, right? I've seen, I think we all know the Coca-Cola ad, which has a different track in each frame, because they don't know how to control the consistency, but they've done it. They've done an ad. So I think that's the biggest problem right now. And people don't connect with AI. So I think while AI is great to have you go past the blank page problem where you don't know where to start, it may give you some incentive or some push to actually have some ideas where you should head your imagination to. But, I think it's a matter of balancing things.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree that when you first, the research part, I think that's where AI is very helpful, because you can find out a lot of information about a business, another person, by doing the research with AI. But then the creative part, creating the video, creating a logo, creating, I don't know, an advertising material, you still need a brain that can make interesting connections. Because if you create it in AI, it always looks the same. It's, has the same overall aesthetic. And
I totally agree. That's the problem. If we all use only AI, everything will be so generic, so default state type of thing. And you can see AI when you ask it to generate software or a web page or something like that, because usually the first versions will be totally unusable for a human, right? It will be so awkward. The buttons will be all over the place. It's weird. Of course, these are just we are maybe 5 years into the AI race. Maybe in 10 years from now, we will only have AI agents, physical agents that will clean our house or things like that. But I think we are pretty far from it, and let's see how it goes. I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's going to be bad. I would say that it's going to change a lot of not only jobs, but it will change quite a lot of lives around AI. And it already did. And, replacing companies like KPMG by directly hiring OpenAI as a consultancy company, I think that's a very big red flag where we can say, well, if they're getting replaced, okay, what's next? Because it's strange. So I'm speaking with quite a few lawyers around the countries, and they feel it. They feel the fear of getting replaced by an AI type of system where everything gets judged by AI. Everything's done automatically. So I don't know, maybe that's going to be in 10, 20, 30, 50 years, but I'm pretty sure that some jobs will get replaced, as some of them already did, right? We're seeing the cashiers at the supermarkets getting replaced
that's
by...
True. That's
right?
true.
That's true. That's a whole job replaced, right? We're going to see more and more trucks or cars driven by AI, right? That's going to be probably pretty usual in 5 years from now. So how many cab drivers will there be, taxi drivers? What's going to happen with them? And how we're going to sustain as an economy that problem? because there will be more people that will search for a job and they will not have the qualifications to do anything else. So how we're going to handle that as an economy? Well, that's a very deep...
it is.
Yes. Sorry.
Not sure if we can answer that today.
Not today, but I'm going to try. Joking.
But no, but that's interesting. But my brother, actually, he's still in Germany and he is a watchmaker. So but nobody's doing that anymore. So he has all the clients because you still need like all the expensive watches like Breitling and Rolex, and they're also outsourcing, so because there's no more watchmakers. So he is benefiting from that. But maybe in the future, people are going back to those trades again because an AI cannot repair a watch.
You're very true. And I think there's a lot of reasoning behind that. And we all feel, and maybe that's why we are going to networking events, because we want that human connection. We want that human person to listen to us. Otherwise, everything will be just chatbots, just AI bots, just, AI interviews, which I have my doubts that it will work out for the best of us.
Those chatbots and those, it's terrible. Every time I call somewhere and I see, you can make from the following selection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like, oh God, I just want to talk to someone. It would be so much faster. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So to close our little conversation today. If a small business owner is listening today and wants to improve how they show up online, where do they start? Do they start with the design, with the storytelling, or the consistency?
I think, asking the why question 7 times, I think that's a very good start, because you have to understand why are you doing what you're doing and what's the final target. And of course, from their mission, vision statement and everything around the brand, because brand, a logo, or anything that we build around something that they don't know, it won't work on the long term, right? It would lose value. So I would say start with some bit of coaching, start with some bit of vision, understand why you're doing what you're doing and what you actually love. As you said, when we started this conversation, you asked, you said that you love what you're doing, which is, I think, the most important part of the business. Otherwise, why would you invest your next 30 years, 40 years in doing something that you don't love? I see and hear so many lawyers that they join, they start working in the law industry and they fall in love for a couple of months, years, but after a couple of bad years, or not necessarily bad years, but there are some things that they're harder to love, right? And it's about that, knowing why you're doing what you're doing. And I think that's the first part where they should start. Then, of course, build the website, build the branding. You cannot have the website or any videos without the branding. So the first step is 100% the branding.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So where, if people would like to connect with you or learn more about what you do, where can they find you?
I think the easiest way is to connect on LinkedIn, and I'm more than happy to have a chat with them. If anyone needs any type of complimentary call, I'm more than happy to jump on a call and learn more about their business, because this is what I love. I love doing this.
That's awesome. So your website is LPV Agency?
Yes, lpv.agency.
.agency. Yes. And you are also on LinkedIn?
Yes, LinkedIn is my best.
Perfect. So that just a little bonus question. Do you have a project that you're especially proud of?
Totally. So 5 years ago, I started working on a fintech project, and a client of mine came to me and said, well, I've got a logo, I've got an idea. Can we make this happen? And we started working on it with the whole team, and we took that project from literally zero. I bring the first 2 investors in. Then we snowballed that into 50 million in under a year.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you so much, Svenja.
So thank you so much for being on the podcast. That was a very great conversation with Alex Nedelea from LPV Agency. And I love how he breaks down what it really means to get noticed today. It's not about luck or going viral. It's about showing up consistently and understanding your audience. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to This Might Get Creative and share it with a fellow business owner who needs a little creative spark. And you can connect with Alex at lpv.agency or on LinkedIn. And as always, you can find me at linecreatives.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on This Might Get Creative. Thanks for listening to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lion Creatives. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and share it with someone who loves discovering local businesses and creative entrepreneurs. You can learn more about my work at lioncreatives.com or find me on Instagram, lion.creatives, and LinkedIn at Lion Creatives. Until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and keep getting seen.